Joey, and thanks for the introduction, Neil. Welcome everyone to the global gathering session today, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here today. I'm super excited to be here. What better way to spend a Saturday on a lockdown, right? Now, before I begin, I know Neil captured this, but I just have to tell you before the demo as well, that please make your purchasing decisions based on features and functionalities that are currently available. So we're going to cover two topics today that was presented in admin sessions in TrailheaDX, specifically dynamic forms and in-app guidance. And we will also see the demo of the two. So who's ready for some low code love? I know I am. After 15 years of coding, I sure am. Today, we're going to cover some of the new low code love features and tools for admins, specifically around what's new in summer 20, right? Dynamic forms and actions and in-app guidance are some of those. This session was originally presented by Shubhankar Viragi, Farhan Tahir, and Tim Dubois. Dynamic forms was the #1 most requested feature on Idea Exchange. I guess because as admins, we know that one of the ways we deliver success is by building customer experience for our users. With dynamic forms and actions, you can customize pages to create personal experience, and you can easily migrate existing forms as well. With dynamic forms, you can transform static data into intuitive experience by hiding and showing fields when necessary. Now, why is that important? Because we know often records, we have a lot of information on there, all of which is necessary, but maybe not all at the same time. Especially when you're in a time crunch, it can be really difficult to find the information you need. But having dynamic forms means you use visibility rules on fields to show what is relevant, which will increase your end users' productivity by placing fields in easy to find places. And you will save time by building less unique pages for specific functions. Sounds great, right? So with that introduction to dynamic forms, I'm excited to dive into the demo. So in today's demo, we will see how we enable dynamic forms, upgrade current Lightning record page, customize by page value, customize for the device, customize for users, and then finish it off by taking a look at dynamic actions. Let's dive in. So before this, just to set some context here, this is a simple app built for one of our customers who had some issues tracking their pallets. The number of pallets going out versus the number of pallets coming in were not matching, and they were writing it off as losses. So we just developed a simple app that can help them track which account, on which account, how many pallets are going in versus how many are coming back. So let's go ahead and enable dynamic forms first. We'll go into setup and look for record page settings. And here you enable dynamic forms. Remember, this is a non-GA preview. So I highly recommend before you go ahead, take a read at the release notes that's on here as well. Now, once that is done, let's go ahead and see how we can upgrade an existing Lightning page and get started. Now, I am going to use this page for upgrade and use another page for configuration because I've already upgraded that page. So go into the edit page. I'm sure all of you have seen this screen before. If you haven't, down it, right at the center is the canvas. And on the left-hand side, we have all the components and components that we can drag and drop. The new addition here are the fields and field sections. Once you've enabled dynamic forms, this shows up automatically. Before, in order to add any field into the page, you had to actually go into the page layout setting, but no, you can do that in Lightning Builder right here now. So let's go ahead and upgrade this page. it'll open up a wizard for walkthrough. Just follow the steps. Currently, this page, this object has only one page layout, but if you did have multiple, you can upgrade all of them at one shot. Notice something that changes here. Remember, dynamic forms only work for custom objects, right? It's not supported for standard objects just yet. Notice this section, it is the record detail for mobile. It's actually a component that wraps fields from the existing record detail component into a mobile only container. Now that's coming up because I upgraded an existing page. If you are building a page from scratch, you have to make sure that you add that component from the component section, drag and drop it into your page, because otherwise mobile fields will not work. All right, so now that this page has been upgraded, I'm just going to save and go into the page that we are going to work on today. This is the palette transaction object. That's a custom object. Let's see how we can add visibility rules into this page. All right, so like I said, a field section and fields are coming up because we enable dynamic forms in our setup. Why is that important is because when you have a group of fields in field section, you can actually set visibility rules for all of that to the whole section at once. Now I'm gonna have this section, remember to name them with some relevant names that makes sense. Drag and drop whatever your fields that you think are relevant. That's all right. All right. For this, I'm going to say this is my recovery information, and I don't need this all the time, right? I only need this when this palette has been marked as recovered. Let me go and make this required. This is another thing that you don't have to go into the object and field settings to change it. You can do that right here as well. And now this section, I'm going to add a filter that's saying it should not show up on the page until the stage of this transaction has been converted to recovered. All right, now that's done. Let's take a look at how we can add it by devices, because of course, if you think about a page and a user using it on desktop versus mobile, they're probably using it for different uses. They may not need all the information that's on the desktop edition on their mobile as well. So for just this purpose, I'm going to go ahead and change this to this section's visibility and say this shouldn't come up on mobile. Pick the device in the filter type, check the form factor. Let's leave it at desktop because it should only come up on desktop, and done. And you could also have user level filters. I'm logged in as system admin, so I'm just going to say collector information should not show up for sales. It should only show up for sales, so that way we'll see it doesn't come up here. Go into advanced, select user. You could have permission set, you could have record type, you could do add filters at all those levels. I'm going to say profile name. Right, so only sales users can see that collector information. So let's save it. Remember to activate, for me, this is an org-wide default, but if you want to have that just for an app or just for some apps and record types and people, you could do all of that. All right, see how we don't have the recovery information coming up on this page now? Let's go ahead and mark this page as recovered and see what happens. There you go. Recovery information starts coming up right there. How about mobile? Let's take a look at what's on our mobile. So I'm on this page, just going to go back and come back in. See how chatter information has vanished from the mobile? So you could have different visibility rules at different levels. Now, let's go ahead and see what dynamic actions are. Go back into the edit page. Notice what are the different actions that's coming up on the highlights panel, which is everything. And click on enable dynamic actions and see how it goes away. Now you can add what you think should be added and for who. You can set visibility. You can set visibility levels for each of the actions. Again, let's say clone should only come up when the stage is paid. And the same level of filters appear here as well. Delete should only be visible to certain users. You get the point, right? So save. Let's go back. And we only see edit and delete now. Let's change the status to paid and see what happens. There you go. A clone starts appearing. All right. So a quick recap of what we saw. We saw how to enable dynamic forms, upgrade an existing record page. We broke the fields into logical field sections so we could add visibility rules. And we added visibility rules by page value, by device, and for specific user profiles. We also took a look at how dynamic actions would work. Now, before you go ahead and get started, I wanted to highlight some of the considerations. Remember that this is a non-GA preview feature, meaning it is not covered under your current MSA, and it is offered as is without support. It only works on custom objects for now and also only on desktop view. Now, before I jump on to the next topic, just wanted to see if we have any questions on dynamic forms and actions.
Any questions, guys? You are shy.
If not, I'll proceed.
Yeah.
All right. Great, let's jump on to in-app guidance. Now, whenever we're deploying a new project, a lot of thought goes into user training, right? Because we know how important user adoption is. But what happens when a new user joins, let's say 6 months after the project's gone live? They usually get stuck with some handover documents and left to fend for themselves. I guess that's where the true power of in-app guidance comes in. It is important to remember that change management isn't always about technology, it's about people too. So let's talk about in-app guidance and walkthroughs. With in-app guidance, you, the Salesforce admin, can create contextual in-app learning created with clicks. That means you can create a doc prompt, one that stays in place, or a floating prompt, one that appears anywhere on the page to give users information about what to do or places to learn more from. Simply put, you can use in-app guidance to help your users onboard faster and learn about new features. In-app guidance is built into the platform, which means no security issues or performance impacts. And if you have a walkthrough that is very close to another, you can clone it and customize it for those users. All the guidance you create is fully translatable, packable, and reportable via custom reports. So let's get started with the demo. And this is what we will see in the demo today, right? Sign up for a 30-day trial because remember, in-app walkthrough is a licensed product or feature. Create a new guidance. Use both floating prompts and doc prompts, and we'll also see how we can preview the guidance and schedule it. Let's cut it. Let's go to that. Oops, sorry. All right, I'm going to go into setup again. And look for guidance. Right. This is where you would sign up for your 30-day trial. I guess all the orgs that we have, sales or service licenses or even platform licenses will get 30-day free trial. Go ahead and sign up for that. Let's go ahead and create a new one. This will bring up this page, lets you navigate to where you want to put the guidance and get started. So I'm going to use account for this. Going to get into an account and start putting guidance here, right? So click on add, click what kind of guidance you wanted, a single prompt or a walkthrough. I'm going to use a walkthrough for this demo. Pick a position where you want the prompt and start building your body. Say there's a limitation. You could leave it as dismiss or get creative. Okay. Next step. Here is fine. Let's say all transactions are here. Click through the tabs to get to see more. Could be as simple as that. I'm going to be consistent in the dismiss message. I'll add another step to say where activities are. And I want this at bottom right corner. Done. Now, lastly, I'm going to say, I'm going to use a doc prompt. And here is where you can actually embed links to learn more as well. So I have the module link, gonna use that. All right, let's save. That brings up this portion. Action label is Trailhead link. put in the URL. So when you click it, it will take them straight to the Trailhead page. Pick how long you want this to be. For this example, for this demo, it's just a week, but you could choose when your project goes live and how long you think that guidance or walkthrough should be there. And if you want to restrict it to specific profiles, you could do that as well. For this demo, I'm just going to leave it with everybody. Again, you can do permission sets if you have any restrictions. Let's leave it with everybody for now. And then activate. Yeah, you could just have it here until
Wait, there's a question here. Can we locate the step prompt at the position below the field on the page?
Sorry,
we have that option.
What was the question again? Can we locate the step prompt at the position just below the specific field in the page? I think let's save this and I'll show you. There are only a few options for where the prompt goes. And if you go ahead and say add step and pick floating prompt, you see there are only a few locations here. But the beauty of it is you can still drag and drop. I mean, the user can still drag it if it's blocking something. But from an admin perspective, to place the floating prompt, these are the locations that's available. I hope that answers your question. All right, so now let's preview what it looks like. Now this is where we have set up our navigation. Let's go take a look at how it would work. If I click on the Trailhead link, it will take me straight to the Trailhead link. Finish, we'll stop. Right. So with few clicks, we saw how we can create a navigation that walks through the users and helps them in their very busy day. That's fine. Just coming back to this page. All right. So in-app guidance is basically to help your users get the information they need and be able to easily locate. You can get information from your team about what they are struggling with. I highly suggest having that conversation with them, because it's not about what we want to put where we want to put. It's more about what they're struggling with and how we can help them. Any questions on in-app guidance demo? Let me take a look at. All right, great. Anything else? Any other questions? I hope you got some clarity in how to set up dynamic forms and actions and in-app guidance for your users and help them save time and make their days a little bit more productive, I guess. So if you have any questions, I can take them now. It doesn't have to be now.
Yep. Yeah, quick question though. So yes, basically it's a 30-day trial for all orgs, right? Even yes, for Enterprise Edition. Okay. Yeah. I'm guessing it's priced per user then, right? I can't find any specific information about that. I guess we'll just have to reach out to the account executives, right? Yeah, absolutely. It's best to reach out to account executives for pricing. Good question, though. If you need more, I can follow up on that. But as far as I know, I'm not sure. I think it's at org level or not user level, but it could be. All right, I can follow up. Can't find. It's a first. I got surprised that it's actually a paid offering. So No
Yeah,
worries.
no, yeah. So single doc prompt, I guess, is free for everybody. But if you want walkthrough, it is a paid offering. And yes, it can be
I
translated
see.
and
Okay.
packable.
All right.
So for to answer you, Ed, yes, it is translatable.
Mhm.
All right. If there are no other questions, I'd like to hand over to your amazing leaders. Thank you for taking time out today again.
By the way, just a follow-up, Nethra. Do you think this in-app, no, not the in-app, the dynamic forms, do you think it will replace the uh, the combination of record types and page layouts in the future?
Good question. I don't think it's intended to be a replacement, right? But it is to give that extra layer of flexibility for users. But you may not need to, depending on your complexity, you may not need to maintain a lot of different page layouts and have just one layout and use visibility rules around it. But again, because it is infancy, I don't know how complicated it will get when it's for standard objects and live.
That's great. Um, well, not related to the topic that you have discussed, but a lot of our participants here are admins. So we understand that you are a senior solutions engineer at Salesforce, and
Yeah.
um, can you describe what your day looks like, and what's your advice if some administrators would like to become a solutions engineer or a solutions architect? I think it's related to pre-sales as well, right? What's your advice for them?
Absolutely, good question. And I think I jumped straight into the demo because because of how excited I was. So give you a little bit of introduction and background. Yes, I am a senior solution engineer at Salesforce, and I joined Melbourne Ohana very recently. I've been in the IT industry for 15 years now. And so what my day looks like, right? As a solution engineer, it's all about meeting new customers, finding out what the challenges are, and coming back and building this custom solution for them so we could show them value from Salesforce. And yeah, get to meet all these exciting different use customers and see their different use cases. Pallet recovery was one of them. They had identified that just the amount of pallets are causing them close to $800,000 every year. So I'm like going back and presenting this solution and showing them the value in how we can help them fix their business challenge is what I predominantly do. So discoveries, demos, back and forth, and it gets a little too much sometimes, but it is good and it is enjoyable. So for admins who want to become solution engineers, you're almost already there because I come from an Oracle ERP background. I started learning Salesforce, I think 2.5 years ago, and kept doing it in the background apart from my job. So did my admin certs and yeah, and here I am. So I'm sure all of you can be, just have to watch out when an opening comes up, apply. And again, I think as a part of TrailheaDX, there's mentorship program which can help people can help you build your resumes and have conduct mock interviews with you. Reach out to me if you need any of those kind of help.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna share that link later on, wherein everyone can apply as a mentor or as a mentee. It's part of our community objective to give back to the community. So, guys, do you have other questions for Nethra?
Yep, it doesn't have to be about dynamic forms.
Yeah, because I think the team at Salesforce Singapore are also hiring for solutions engineer. I think now they're hiring. They've been hiring for the past year now. For past year now, and yeah, I would like to encourage everyone to be like Nethra and apply as a solutions engineer at Salesforce. I think it will be fun, especially that you'll be working directly at Salesforce.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just as long as you have that mindset of identifying a problem and being creative and coming up with a solution for it. All of you are, I'm sure, solution engineers already.
Awesome. Joey, do you have other questions?
There's a question here actually from Jerome. So since Salesforce already owned Velocity, is Salesforce going to transition to be like how Velocity customizes fields and other components? I have some
Great
ideas
question.
here, but I'll let you answer that first.
I don't think I have an answer to that.
Yeah.
That's more strategic, from a strategic side of things. And I know we acquired Velocity very recently, but I don't think we all know what it means for us just yet. So we'll wait for the strategic announcement on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, some ideas for that. It's not going to be that easy for them to just change the internals of how Salesforce works, right? So with what few 100,000 customer, 100,000 or more customers, there's a lot in terms of planning and stuff there. So probably not anytime soon.
We'll see. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Actually, with regards to Apex programming, if you registered for our TrailheaDX global gathering for developers, that's happening at 3 p.m. So that's where all of the development work is actually going to be discussed. Development and architecture.
If you are also interested in Apex and other developer topics, we will have a developer evangelist from London. He will join us later at 3 p.m. So I suggest if you can go to our Facebook group or our LinkedIn page, you can register there as well. It's still open. So if you no longer have any other questions for Nethra, I'll have 20 questions for you guys. So thank you so much, Nethra, for joining our event. And hopefully you could come visit us here in the Philippines, and we would love to host you again.
It was absolutely my pleasure to spend this time with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. You can say if you want. You can you can join the quiz as well if you want.
Oh, all right. Absolutely. Yeah, let me try my luck.
All right, so yeah, for those who doesn't know me, I'm Neil, and I'm the CEO of PH Force. It's an IT consultancy, primarily for Salesforce. I'm a Salesforce MVP and a country lead of the Salesforce community in the Philippines. So I'm also a 15 times certified admin consultant and the designer. So today, we'll go to the fun part. So of this event. So it's quiz time, and I'm not sure if you already have the. So go to your So these are the game rules. Go to your first and foremost. Go to your smartphone. You can download the app there called Kahoot. So we will use that.
Here's your remote.
And you can also just join using the website, kahoot.it.
Sorry, Joey, what's that?
You can also use the website, web version, kahoot.it.
Yep, you can also use the website, kahoot.it. Let us know if you are already on that website, kahoot.it, because I'm going to share it to you. Okay, you can find now. By the way, you need to use your Wait,
There we
now,
go.
can you hear me?
Yeah, much better.
Okay. By the way, use your full name because we are going to match that with the RSVPs. Wala yung sound. If it's too long, you can just use your just first name and last name. Don't put your second name. Jer, NN. Close the app and then open the app again.
And then it's me. You can ignore it.
Okay, that's it. Are we still waiting for someone? Okay, I think that's enough. Can you still hear me, guys?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Ang dami niyo pala.